Welcome
Welcome
to
to
Shade in
Shade
the
in the
City.
City.
I'm your girl, Trees.
It's Nels.
And today we are reviewing Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 6, Episode 12. We's got a monster issue. Gotta love owning these titles. So
That's cute.
I can't with you. So if you haven't already, Shade Squad, please make sure that you hit that like button.
And that subscribe button.
And y'all, let's get into it. Oh, I need to fill my glass. Well, I'll tap my candle.
Let's get shady.
Let's get shady. So I'm gonna be real honest. I kind of ran through this episode, so Nels is gonna have to get me through. Um, because my first is all things between Aunt Lisa and her mama, and Aunt Lisa leaves, and Stormy tries to reason with her mom and tells her that she needs to do something. And Miss Betty ain't really here for it, and that's what I pretty much got.
That's pretty much what happened.
Yeah. Martell is going to his court ordered therapy, but feels like it's been very helpful to him. He says he was frustrated because the babysitter canceled and Miss Marlene had to watch the kids and he had to basically beg her to watch her grandkids. And he doesn't understand why he has to beg her when he does so much for her. And, I think Miss Marlene is probably like, well, I didn't have to be this much of a grandmother when you had a wife. That part.
I don't know. It's giving baby boy. Mama got to have a life too.
Right. I didn't sign on. She signed on to be a grandmother, not a full time
Yeah.
nanny. That
Mm.
that wasn't a part of the plan. And so, he feels like it shouldn't be like that, and their relationship should be, reciprocal. And she asked, about where his dad is. He says that he's in Huntsville somewhere. And then they roll back the tape or flashback where he was talking to his dad. So they did reconcile at some point, or at least talked, and then he said his dad began to pull away. And so he hasn't really talked to him since. He does share a little bit about his younger brother, Martez, which I know nothing about. Maybe Nels does, because she's, been back from the beginning.
No, this is the first time I've heard. I didn't even know he had a younger brother.
Well, yeah, because we thought Martell was an only child.
Mm-hmm. Wait,
So,
Miss Marlene
and
asked.
apparently, it's not just them. I heard he had a sister too.
For Miss Marlene?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. No. Just
Yep.
like with Maurice and Marceau. I think it was last season. That was the first time I ever heard about them having any other siblings.
Oh no, I knew they had other siblings.
I didn't.
So, yeah. So basically, she challenges him to, basically make his relationships that he has with people, make sure that they're conducive for him, and that they're relationships that are serving him. And so, unfortunately, I think Martell can take that the wrong way, but I thought it was good advice.
You thought it was what?
Good advice. For
Um,
somebody who's not Martell. Because for him, relationships that serve him is, you understand what I'm saying?
hmm. So Maurice took Kimmi out on a double date night at Wine and Design. I don't know why it was giving me this. Look, I was about to say it was giving me something Trace would like to do.
Absolutely. Wine glasses, absolutely.
Instructor tells them basically, that they are not to put these in the dishwasher. They have to wash them by hand. And of course,
Right.
Maurice takes this time to make a joke that
That's what Kimmi does.
That's all your job. That's all you, boo. I said, oh my God, on date night. This is real smart of you. Okay. He's just clearly trying to get some shit started.
I don't know
Now,
what he be thinking it'd be cute, and I'd be like, why? You seem like a very intelligent man, respectful man. So when Maurice, I'm sorry, see, I expected from Marcel, but when Maurice says it, it's just like you just be really out of touch. I don't.
and I think for whatever reason, and this, I don't know. I don't even know how to say this. Marcel's delivery, even if you know he's serious, his delivery is still better because it's funny. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
we
So
know
it's
you're
like, oh,
serious.
as Kimmi would say, oh, you was trying to be, well, you was trying to be smart. You was trying to be funny. Like, yeah.
Yeah. And she told him that basically Monster needs to see him do a dish or two.
Mm-hmm.
So, he
Lead by
says,
example, my brother.
he tells her, look, when I'm not there, you need to tell him what to do, and you need to make him do it. So Marceau said basically everything going on with everything going on, their businesses, the house, everything, tensions are high. So they're super happy to get a date night. Maurice let them know that they were just talking about punishing Monster and basically how Kimmi doesn't feel at liberty to do so. She's like, you know what? I'm so ready. Let's just make this damn glass because I'm
Right.
tired of hearing this from your ass.
Mm-hmm.
So Marceau asked Kimmi, you know, well, actually, I thought it was funny. He was like, Kimmi, hush. Can you let Maurice finish speaking for you? I said, see, that's what I'm talking about.
Right. He's good at it.
Yes. So she was like, yeah, his paraphrase is awful. But like he don't get it. So she explained that the last time that that Monster didn't listen, she told him to rake the leaves, and apparently that was his punishment for something else. And he never did it. And of course, Maurice did not go outside, follow it up, make him do it. So
Right.
Marceau said, Maurice, you need to back her up. Of course, Maurice feels like he did, or he does. He says that he doesn't mind backing her up, but they all live under the same roof. And if she tells him to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to go do them dishes, he need to do it. Why I need to get up and say, she said go do the dishes?
Right.
You don't. You need to get up and say, you didn't hear what she just said? Get
Mm-hmm.
up and go do them goddamn dishes. She basically says that, she's not his maternal mother.
Right.
She can birth him, okay?
She's
So it can
trying
get
to
a
be
little hairy.
respectful.
Huh?
I don't, she's trying to be respectful. The fact that
Mm-hmm.
he has a mother, she's living, she's a good mother, she's involved. And
Mm-hmm.
I just, I'm not gonna lie, this whole episode kind of irritated me because I'm a ride for Kimmi, and I just felt like the positions that he kept putting her in, I really didn't appreciate.
Oh, especially when they took it back. Teacher tells her that, her and Kiowa should be able to communicate about Monster and come together. And Marceau asked Kimmi, does he support her with the relationship? And she said no. And he said, maybe when you have like a family thing going on, you shouldn't let business get in the way and leave Kimmi to handle it all by herself.
That
So,
okay for Marceau to say that, but he's
I
shady.
said, ooh. So Tisha basically said, you know what? He trying to start some shit. He trying to put his foot in y'all door
Right.
and start some shit,
Get your leg out the door, Marceau.
right? Uh, so basically, she was like, we not about to do this. So she's like, yeah, we're gonna go. Y'all have a great night, and that was it. So
I'm just
Martell,
so shocked. Why would you want to do that on a date night? That's so unromantic.
well, Maurice started it.
No, I mean that's the point. Why would you want to keep
We
going?
we just saw 2 shows of the love and marriage that completely messed up a date night. Okay. After talking to his therapist, I'm sorry, Martell, after talking to his therapist, he decided to reach out to his brother and invite him over to work on their relationship. He says his brother's doing much better. He's off probation, he's married, he got a job, and he just wants to, help him go in the right direction, be his mentor as a big brother. So they're discussing how they came up, with his mom working all the time, their dad really not there. And basically they lived in the hood. But Martell talks about how he could have ended up just like his brother. And he says, people come in your life and they can say things that completely change the trajectory. Apparently he ran into this recruiter and that completely changed his life. And that's why he didn't really end up like his brother, or, they could have been in business together. Now He also tells him that being married helped him focus on business, being able to, do other things while his wife took care of the home and the kids, that he wanted to do. So his brother asked about how Mel is doing. He's like, I ain't seen her in a long time, and asked Martell if he's in the studio. Because, last he heard Messy Mel
Mel is
came
out here
out.
with diss tracks.
She came out with a diss track.
Right.
And he tells his brother that basically that he's a great businessman. He was just in the wrong type of business, and he wants to help him out. That Tisha and Marcel are hosting the Black Expo, and he invited him to come so that he could learn some stuff and possibly get help with a business venture, which I thought was dope. I thought it was a dope idea.
Right. Kimmi, Kiowa, and Monster, they all sit down. Oh, I'm sorry. Kimmi, Kiowa, Monster, and Maurice. He showed up for that meeting. And they sit down to talk. They talk about Monster and, him doing boot camp. And Kimmi brings up Monster having trouble getting the trash out and laundry. And, Kiowa puts the responsibility on Monster. And it's basically like, well, those are things that, you're kind of getting up there in your young, big age, your young teenage, that you need to, should nobody had to tell you to do that. So Maurice points out that Monster isn't very receptive. Kimmi tries to engage and ask him for his ideas. And he said he doesn't have any. His mom asked about his grades, and he says that they're getting better, but sometimes he just doesn't feel like it. So then basically Maurice is happy about their conversation and thinks that they're showing that they're all on the same page, and he basically dismisses Monster. Kimmi doesn't believe that, they are on the same page and wants to hear Kiowa's thoughts. And then Kiowa basically just says that she didn't want Monster to feel ganged up on, and she wants to like pull him to the side and have a conversation with him and just feel like what's going on, because everybody realized that his mannerisms and his body language said that he wasn't very like receptive or comfortable or open to talking.
Mm-hmm.
And so Kiowa asked if Monster may have some feelings about her not being around as much. And Maurice says that may be the issue because she babied him a lot. And he's asking him to grow up. I said,
yeah, I was
I
like,
understand. And this is no. This is why Kimmi wants to stay out of it. Because if I was Kiowa,
that would have pissed me off.
Right. We would be,
and I think it did.
Like we would be arguing like we were still married because we're still the parents of this child.
You didn't see her face?
Right.
I think she kept calm because there was cameras there.
Right.
But I was like, Maurice?
So Kiowa lets him know, no, baby, I nurtured him. I said, you better tell him. And Kimmi feels like there has to be a middle ground between what they both want. Now Kimmi suggests spending more time, Maurice spend more time with Monster, and he says picking him up and he takes him to school. And both Kimmi and Kiowa are like, that's not enough, sweetheart.
She said you pick him up, take him to school, and on the ride, while sitting in traffic, you're constantly telling him what he is and is not doing. That ain't spending time, sir. Go. She's like, go have fun with your son.
So Kimmi even suggests helping him with his homework. And he's like, oh, I help him with his homework. And he was like, but if you did, he wouldn't be behind in his schoolwork. So Maurice doesn't think that he needs the baby Monster. And Kimmi suggests that maybe he doesn't need a drill sergeant and he needs to spend more time with him doing things that they enjoy, like Nell said. And Kiowa brings up that, basically she just needs to be more present. And that's where that conversation ended.
And then Stormy and Courtney are in the car discussing their business, and basically she doesn't think they're done firing people. After her cousin, she wants to go on a firing spree. Okay, she wants to get everybody branding. She said that they used to pack 800 boxes and it was easy. So why the hell can't they do it? They got a whole team now, and this lady the manager can't even keep up with the inventory. So everybody need to go. She cleaned the house. Also, they move on to the drama with her family. And, of course, she gets emotional because she wants everybody to get along. She says that she even suggested them going on a family vacation to Jamaica, which is something apparently she always wanted to do. And she couldn't even get them to get on board for that. She's like, I'm paying for everything and don't nobody want to go. So she gets emotional. Her husband, Courtney, completely understands because he's like, She just wants her family to be close and get along, and she says she's gonna keep on working at it. She's not gonna give up. Kiowa took Monster out for dinner, and trying to discuss with him about expressing his feelings and does he have anyone to talk to. He says he does, but he doesn't want to talk to them. And she says that she doesn't like the way this sounds, so she lets him know, hey, I'm thinking about, being more present. And how would you feel about this? When I tell you, his face lit up. He was like, I wouldn't have a problem with that. You want your mama back. Just say it, boy. You want your mama back. So she, he lets her know, I would like that as much as possible. And she says she's gonna make it happen. So Kimmi explains to Maurice that basically there's a different type of relationship between a mother and a son. And he said, you know what? Maybe we should go to therapy without you. And she's like, sir, why are you making this a whole big thing?
Right.
Okay.
I did not like the way he was handling her.
Maurice, just this whole episode, he was just doing too much. And basically, she says she's not opposed to going, but she feels that it would be better for just him and his two parents to be there, and maybe he'll be willing to open up more rather than everybody breathing down his throat. And I felt like she had a pretty good point. I'm sorry. And he says that basically he would like every time they have a family meeting that the bonus parents would be included. And of course, Kimmi took this time to throw some shade and says, yes, basically it would. Last time we had a bonus parents meeting, your ass up and left.
Show up, right.
I said, oh. And he says, I was on time. They was running late. She said, I didn't get into the logistic as to why, sir. The point is, you left me hanging. Okay. He says,
you weren't.
Basically, and he says, maybe you and Kiowa need to have more meetings. Since Kiowa wants to be more pregnant. I said pregnant. Since Kiowa.
Total change of storyline.
Since Kiowa wants to be more present, maybe, you guys can work through, the historical stuff that y'all got going on. Kimmi said that is in the past and that's where we're going to leave it. And he tells her, oh, that means you're not over it. Kimmi flipped real quick. What exactly do I need to get over? She went off. Okay. He's like, oh, what is all this tone? You're gaslighting, sir. You need to relax. You need to stop it.
It was terrible. I really didn't like that. I did not like how Maurice handled her. And I was just like, you know what? Kimmi's a good one. So thank you guys.
Yes,
if you
thank
haven't
you.
already, please make sure that you hit the like button.
You comment.
You subscribe.
And you hit the notification bell.
And make sure you're following us on all the platforms, the TikTok, the Twitter, the Facebook, and the IG. And we will catch you next week. Y'all do realize we are on episode 12 of season 6. I'm just saying. Getting a little lengthy. I think we're stretching it a little further out than we need to say. But yeah, no, we appreciate you joining us and tuning in for the review. And we'll catch you next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Good night.